she's like, listen, I gotta dip out of this kingdom. I hate it here. No one likes me. Welcome back. This is a little awkward, but a lot of people think my name is Hayden now, and it's not. It's Hayley. So I guess I have to say that from now on. But like, I understand it can be confusing as my username, whatever. Anyway, today I have some questions to answer. I realized from my last writing vlog I was talking a lot about book 1 and book 2, but I didn't explain what they were about, so that's what I'm gonna do now. If you want to see the short version of what it's about, go to my Twitter, and then it's the pinned tweet at the top of my feed, obviously, that says all about my book. Woo! But I'm gonna do like a quick little rundown here, just tell you what it's about. Yeah, it's fantasy, and it has 2 point of views. The 2 main characters, they're sisters. One of them's name is Tanisa. She's black, that's what you need to know. The other one's name is Kara. She's white. There's a lot of... Listen, one of the main themes is race and ignorance, racism. No, let me not get into themes right now because that's too complicated. I don't... So obviously these 2 people, they're sisters. They're not blood related, but Tanisa's mom was like forced to marry Kara's dad. So, you know, they're like a step family or whatever. And Kara's dad is king of this country. And he's bad. he's not a very nice guy. Basically, this country is like everyone's least favorite country because the kings have been really terrible in the past, and they've just been really awful to everyone that's not their race. And so a lot of people are mad at this king and at this kingdom. This country was like divided in 2 because it had like 2 kingdoms, but one of them got destroyed because they had magic, and the king was like, no, magic is bad. And also it was led by black people, so you know, he's racist, and he was like, we can't have black people being better than us. And so I say black people, it's not like actually African American people, it's like a made-up race, but you know what I mean. This kingdom is like a black spot on the map. It's like half of the country, but the king is like, okay, we should reabsorb this country now that this kingdom has been eradicated. It's been like decades since the war that like destroyed that kingdom, the enemy kingdom, if you will. That kingdom, oh my god, it's called Casatine. I don't know why I didn't say that, but the enemy kingdom is called Casatine. The home kingdom of Kara and Tanisa is called Prisha. So basically the king is like anti-Casatine, and he wants to like reacquire that land since it's been so long since the war, and he feels like he deserves it now because he like took down that kingdom, and like he wants it back. Little does he know there's like this idea that Casatine is cursed now because magic doesn't just like disappear. Even if you think you destroy it, it doesn't just like disappear into thin air. So everyone's like, Casatine is cursed, like you don't want that land. But the king is like, no, he's like really greedy, he wants it. The native people of this country obviously hate the king because he's already been taking their land. And so now when he's like, let's take Casatine, everyone's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Plot in the beginning is that he wants to take back Casatine and like make it a part of Prisha again. And Tanisa has a terrible time in Prisha because everyone's racist, and she obviously doesn't feel like she fits in. And Kara is her only friend, but Kara is like, you know, a little spoiled princess. She's a little ignorant, even though her stepsister is black, but she still does not understand racism, and she doesn't understand why Tanisa hates it there. Tanisa's like, I hate it here. Kara's like, why? So Tanisa wants to leave. A bunch of things happen, and she's like, listen, I gotta dip out of this kingdom. I hate it here. No one likes me. But she like feels bad, obviously, because she doesn't want to leave Kara because Kara's like her best friend. But Kara obviously doesn't understand why she wants to leave because she's like, this is our home. And Tanisa's like, no, it's not. It's your home. I don't belong here. So Tanisa wants to leave. That's like her main motivation. Kara, I'm gonna be honest, she's just chilling. She has like a few moments where a lot of people are coming after her because basically everyone like worries that she's gonna be like the king, so they hate her. And by they I mean the natives and, you know, the people of color of the country. They're like, we cannot have another ruler like the king. So they do a lot of attacking for Kara. Kara like doesn't feel safe, but ultimately she's like, well, you know, my dad is just doing what's best for the country. And Tanisa's just like, are you serious right now? I'm trying not to spoil things, but basically they think that Casatine is completely destroyed, but little do they know is that it's not. There are still a lot of things going on over there. Casatine ends up coming back. They're like, oh, Casatine is suddenly a threat. I don't want to say exactly what it is. I'll say exactly what it is. And this man, his name is Taran, the Prince of Casatine. He obviously hates the king because the king destroyed his ancestors and his kingdom. And he's like, well, I want to take revenge. Taryn and Cassadine are magical. I say Cassadine is magical, but really it's just Taryn, because the whole idea is that magic was created by the old Pretian king because he wanted to have something to prosecute Cassadinians for, because a lot of them were like really poor and they didn't have ways to make money or to live. So he was like, all right, let's bring in all this dark magic. Like basically Prisha created dark magic and fed it to the disadvantaged in Cassadine so that they could start criminalizing people of color and putting them in prison so that he would have a reason to fight Cassadine in a war and take them down, because he was like, dark magic is bad. Does that make sense? It makes a lot of sense in my head, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes it just goes over. Taryn was created from magic by his parents, who were the king's Lane of Cassadine, and they like hid him away for many years. So now he's come back right in time for when Tanissa's like, peace out, Prisha, and Tanissa sees Taryn and it's like, listen, this could be a good opportunity for me because we're both black and we both hate Prisha, so like she's like, I should join Taryn. And then of course Kara's like, that's treason. Oh my god, I forgot to say something. I forgot to say a really big detail. This book has dragons in it. The royal people are bonded to dragons when they're babies so that the dragons can protect them. I don't know why I did not include that detail. But anyway, that's like the main story. Tanissa wants to leave and her and Taryn want to like take vengeance on Prisha for being racist. And Kara is really struggling with trying to figure out who's right or wrong here. She's like, listen, what do I do? So yeah, that's the main thing. So I'm gonna answer questions. How do I find inspiration? Do you have a routine to write? I love you. I love you too. How do I find inspiration? I mean, I get inspiration from everything, from other books, other TV shows. I'd say most of my inspiration comes from artwork and things I see on Pinterest. And a lot of times people, if I see a character design on Pinterest and I'm like, yes, that's my new main character. And I don't know for what, but I'll be like, this, I need this. And then ideas will just come from there. Do I have a routine to write? No. I wish I did. I feel like I'd be way more organized, but usually I just sit down at my computer and just start writing. I don't have a routine. I don't have a routine for anything. My makeup, the only routine. Everything else, I don't have a routine. I wing it. How long did it take for you to complete the first draft? Thank you for the question, Kath. The very first draft, because technically, if we're being honest, I just finished my third draft of this story. The first two drafts, they were completely different books. Like, I don't even like saying that those even count as drafts because they're so different. Technically, they have the same main characters, but the story is so different. I don't remember. I think it took over a year. I wasn't writing every day though. I didn't really set a goal to finish it until I probably got like halfway through and was like, wait a minute, this is actually something I could use. But yeah, it took me like a really long time, like over a year probably. Second draft took me probably a month or two. I wrote most of it in NaNoWriMo, which by the way, I beat NaNoWriMo in like 15 days that time. And I remember I finished NaNoWriMo with this book. Like I finished this book in NaNoWriMo at the same time. First draft was 70,000 words or something, and then my second draft was like 78,000, something like that. And then this most recent draft, which is like way more of the story that I want, is 144,000 words. When I first finished, it was 100. I don't even remember how long it was when I first finished. It was 566 pages when I first finished, and then after I revised, it was 460 something pages. I think I started writing it last October, I think. And I finished it in the beginning of March. The fact that I don't remember, I just know it took me a really long time, because I remember I was like halfway through and I was like, I'm almost done. That was November. I thought I was gonna finish. I had a plan to finish in December. I was only halfway through. I didn't even know it. I was like, oh, I'm almost done. Nope. And then I got mad because I realized I had so much more to write, and then it took me so long. But I really enjoyed writing it. Favorite trope to write? Thank you for the question, Brittany. Wait, I was just thinking this the other day. My favorite trope to write and read is when the character and their love interest, like one of them gets hurt and then they're like taking care of each other. Just gets me every time. I love it. I think that appears in my book like a million times. Favorite thing about my work in progress? Thank you again for the question, Brittany. I think my characters, they're just so much fun. I think about them so much. They bring me so much joy, even though I do not let a lot of good things happen to them in this book. There's a lot of suffering that goes on in this book. I remember I finished and I was going through my revisions and I was like, I should probably add some happy moments. They are very unhappy a lot of the time, but my characters are my favorite part of this work in progress. And the romance. I just love romance. I have so many songs that I associate with these characters and I just love them. How do I stay on task for a first draft? What helps me stay on task is having an outline, because I know all the things that I need to write and I know where I need to end up, and just having an end goal or an end point in general really helps. What actually motivates me to write the most and get things done is just having an ending that I love and a world that I love, because then I'm always going to want to be in it. My very first draft that I ever finished, it took me a really long time because I don't think I was super serious about it. And I'm not saying you have to be like, I need to get this done or I'm never going to get put, like, not like that. But I just mean, it sounds so cheesy, but like just be passionate about it. Make sure it's something that you love. People say try and write every day. I try. I don't always succeed, but at least open up your document and like try thinking about your characters in your world every day. Because when I think about them, it makes me want to write and it makes me want to finish, because I just want to see every single part of them. Andrea said, what do you do when you get stuck in a scene? Multiple things. Usually I just try and like write as much as I can, and I tell myself I can fix this later. Don't think about it. I try not to think about how much I hate it, because usually when I get stuck it's because I don't like what I'm writing, or if I get stuck because it's not flowing, I'll just keep writing it anyway, and then I just tell myself to come back to it later. Sometimes, very rarely, because it makes a lot of work for me later, I will just stop writing altogether and just leave it blank and then I'll just continue. I don't recommend doing that though, because it just leaves a hole you need to fill in revisions, and it's just even more work. Yeah, usually when I get stuck, I'll write what I can and then I will sleep on it and then I'll come back to it, because usually if I come back to it later, I just have a completely new opinion on it, a new mindset, and it doesn't seem as bad as it did before. So just write as much as you can and then come back to it later, or finish that scene, come back to it later, you know, things like that. Question that I get a lot, I'm not kidding, I'll say, oh my god, I wrote 5,000 words today, and people will be like, oh my god, how do you write so fast? Like, people have been asking me that a lot. Personally, I don't believe that I write that fast, because when I say I'm writing 5,000 words, it's because I sat down for hours, like all day, and wrote. I do feel like 5,000 is a lot, but that's me totally committing myself to sitting down and just grinding all of those words out, and it takes me hours. It's not like I just sat down, had a writing sprint for an hour and just wrote 5,000. Like, no, I'm not that impressive. I wish I was. Honestly, I just get really into it, whether it's, you know, a song that I have or just a scene that I love so much. Really, that's the only thing. How do I write so fast? I just genuinely love the story and the characters, and I'm just so excited to see where it's gonna go. And like, there are so many scenes in my outline that I am just dying to write, that I will write so quickly to get to them. And that's really it. I know y'all wanted me to say, like, I don't know, crack. That's how I write so fast. Someone just said, remember, you're amazing. Thank you. And we are going to end on that note. Seriously though, remember that you are amazing, because writing is hard. And I had a breakdown a few days ago because I was like, oh my god, there was so much stuff I need to fix in my story. But then I had an epiphany that night and I realized this is not a sprint, it is a marathon. I will make it to the finish line regardless of what happens, no matter how long it takes, no matter what approaches I take. As long as I want to get there, I will find a way to get there. I will finish this thing. And you know what? If you're a writer and you're watching this video because you want writing help or you're trying to feel inspired, then you know what? I hope I helped you. Yeah, listen to this person. Remember, you're amazing. Also follow my Twitter, because I have a daily writing update thread. And I say daily, but the thing is, I don't even be writing every day, you guys. Sometimes I say I'm writing because I'll have my document open and then it's actually just me rereading what I've already written and then like changing a few things. And my word count at the end of the day is like 7 words. But honestly, I think that looking at your story every day, even if you know you're trying to write and you don't actually write, I think that that's better than doing nothing. Better than just scrolling through Pinterest and saying I'm writing because I'm on Pinterest. Me, like, I do that all the time. If I can finish a draft, pretty sure you can. I'm the biggest mess ever, so honestly, I believe in you. You should believe in you. Let's end there.